Okay, I got a scene for you.
Okay, great. Tell
Let
me.
Throw this one out here.
Tell me.
What do you think of the scene with you and Talon and Lo in the jacuzzi?
Such a good one.
It's kind of like,
do you know which
guys
scene
are
he's
having this
talking
funny
about?
little conversation.
Vaguely.
It is so good.
Poor Talon.
Poor Talon. But here's what we've said. We're like, the producers were kind of all swaying us in different directions. I feel like Talon just took it upon himself to like be that guy. And that's what I love so much about it.
He did, but I'll say this. He like this is terrible. They were always like, everybody wants Steven. But like they were never like, but like honestly,
I know.
I was hooking up with Talon.
We all were.
I know. Like it was just they
like-
didn't even care. They would like fabricate a story with you,
know.
but you'd be like, everyone's actually hooking up with him.
It's so
Sweet
cheap.
Talon.
You guys do have like one little date where you guys go and grab like a soda.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just
I do?
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
There's a scene
Okay.
just one-on-one in the first season.
Yep.
I think he says love is a hard thing to crack.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And it was
yes. Okay. Yep.
But it's funny because I've thought about this too. We haven't really talked about it. I didn't want to
yeah.
kind of put it all out there,
No,
but
it's
then you
fine.
mentioned it. Great. Like,
Great.
I mean, it's like very incestuous little Laguna bubble that we were in, but they
Yeah.
really just jumped on this, and this is what they're going to drag out.
Yeah.
And the one time that they have you in town and Lo in a jacuzzi, but there's also a scene between the two of you, which it's almost like they were going to maybe see if they're going to like have something between the two of you, but not really. It was really just to actually have him talk to you about us.
Oh,
Right.
great.
Right.
I loved talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
can
know.
tell.
It was
we
my
can tell,
favorite. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to look back on some of these scenes and see where they trying to tee something up, and
Right.
like they even have like there's a little, there's a great connection between you and Trey because you guys have the natural, like you're both into fashion, and so they kind of like it's
You
like at the
mentioned, though, you
Blink-182
thought that
concert. It's like, oh
maybe-
Trey, thank God you're here. There's
Yeah.
a blatant wild line where you're like, you've saved me from Kristin,
Right.
and it's obviously we talked about
thank
it.
goodness.
Thank God for Trey.
She was coming
I was
for me,
coming
yeah.
at you. But you have said that Steven thought maybe they were almost trying to like seem like there was something with you and Trey for a minute.
He
and
said
then
this to me.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I never thought that. But then watching it, I was like, maybe I could see that.
I think they want the audience to root for it.
Yes.
It's almost like again,
Lauren
it's-
needs to be with
it's
a
like-
really good guy.
Yeah, like why?
someone that's going to take good care of her.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You know what I've learned from doing this podcast is that for the longest time, I felt like I was off on a little island and I was the only one who was manipulated and edited to that degree. And then talking to Steven and now having everyone come on, I've realized everyone was in the same boat. We were all just as edited. And so I guess my question for you is, what did you think of how you were portrayed?
I think they took a small piece of me and used it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that I was often, I feel like in what I watch, like I'm often kind of off in a corner just like creepily watching you guys, which is like kind of embarrassing. And the thing that's funny is like I think, so season 1 was basically our senior year.
Yeah.
I had several boyfriends during this time,
Right.
which I'm like, I feel so bad for them. If they ever watch this, they were like, oh man.
She's in love with
She
Steven.
was like, just like going after this guy.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really hammered the love
They
triangle
really
home.
did.
I mean,
They didn't
my
want me to have
God.
anything else.
No.
The crazy part is watching. I don't know if you picked up on this, but they made it seem like it was times like when we were together that we were just blatantly having this relationship on this side.
Right,
But it's
right.
also hard because
Totally.
there's that one scene with I'm leaving Lauren's house. Remember? And we're like,
I
we couldn't figure out
will
what that is,
never
and I was like,
forget it.
but like we would hang out all the time. Like we're good friends, and they had
Yeah.
that to kind of take advantage of as well.
Well, so we were good friends. So this is how I remember it. It's weird because up until your senior year, you don't really hang out with the people in your grade as much, right? Like or the guys,
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So up until then, like we were kind of hanging out with upperclassmen.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came to senior year, it's like the worst thing that girls do. We're like, hey guys,
We don't have anyone else.
I know
Hey.
everybody else left.
It's so true.
It's true. So
Sam?
because of this, I know, right? Hi. So because
Sam.
of this, I like in the prior years we weren't as close. Like we grew up together. We've known each other for so long.
We did date 7th grade. Do you remember this for 2 weeks?
How could you forget
We
that?
did?
Lauren.
No, we didn't.
You broke up with me after 2 weeks.
Heartbreaker.
You know what?
I still remember it because you were in your Halloween costume. I think it was like a Supergirl or something, or Seduce.
Supergirl.
That's awful.
You don't remember now?
No, I
He
don't
was-
remember.
That's so funny.
But you know what? I have the same thing with Dieter. Dieter and I dated for like 2 weeks, and he doesn't remember.
I worked myself up. I walked up to you and I said, "Will you go out with me?" And you're like, "Sure."
Oh,
And then 2 weeks
sorry.
later, you're like, sorry.
Yeah. And then you said, I'm going to get her back.
Publicly. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. He says, I'm going to humiliate her.
He's never gone over
That's
it.
amazing.
Oh,
so,
man.
okay. So because of this, I don't think I realized you guys were boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, I didn't know you guys had a whole relationship. This was like one of the things going back and watching. I'm like, that's really sweet. They were like in love, and I didn't know this.
We were.
No, I know.
'Cause
So
we were
I
just
think,
like a
so I think
hurricane.
like it became it. Yeah. So then we started hanging out again.
Because we broke up.
Yes,
Yeah.
as friends, and
Yeah.
it was like, hey guys, we're back. So yeah, so we all started hanging out again. So I think I got like the aftermath. So all I
Right.
got was just this girl who I don't really know, and a lot of negative because you guys
Yeah.
had just broken up. So I think that was always my idea. So I think one of my takeaways from looking back is I'm like, it's really sweet. You guys had like you guys were in love and you had a relationship.
Working our way through our little adolescent love.
Yeah,
I
That's
know,
what we were
it
doing
was
back in the
really
day.
sweet.
It was sweet.
But then I was also like, who wasn't cheering for that?
I don't know. I think most people were cheering for you
Yeah,
guys
but the way
back
they
in the
portray it on the
day.
show,
But it doesn't
it's
make sense.
It's completely tilted because you're the narrator, and
Yeah.
it's like we're wild, and it's this hurricane, and sweet Lauren.
Yeah.
Like you guys need to root.
very
You need to root for her, but they're smart. They know that all right, the majority of the audience should root for this girl. She's the narrator, but there's going to be
Right.
plenty of people that are going to root for like Kristin. It's just
Right.
because you guys have their characters on the show, the parts of personality I feel like that they
Very
highlight.
different.
Yeah, very
Yes.
And so, anyways, but I should say, I do feel watching the show how you kind of got swept up in all of this and carried on. I feel bad watching that back for you, and I'm sorry that you got
There you go.
thrown,
That's good.
thrown
That's good.
into
I don't think this is
our
you.
little
I don't think
hurricane
you're
of a
so bad.
No, it's
relationship.
good. It's good. It's good. I have said. I think I said it in the first episode. It's just so funny to me the fact that the girls go after each other when it should be the guy.
Always.
Again, I love you. I
Yeah,
know
but-
we've already talked about.
Yeah.
You don't have to have. We know. Okay, we know. But I'm just saying, like hindsight's 2020. If I could go back, I probably would have directed a little bit more towards you instead of you.
Oh, you did. It was just wasn't on camera.